Ukrainian aircraft launch 11 strikes on enemy, targeting 3 air defense positions. For full news please visit www.ukrinform.net. Aircraft of the Defense Forces of Ukraine launched 11 strikes on Russian invaders' positions, targeting, in particular, 3 enemy's air defense systems. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine said this in its operational update as of 1800, on November 12, Ukrinform reports. According to the General Staff, units of the Defense Forces conducted stabilization measures in the liberated settlements of Kherson region on November 12. Representatives of the Regional Military Administration returned to Kherson and started working. Meanwhile, the enemy is improving the fortification equipment of the defensive lines on the left bank of the Dnipro River. Russian forces continue offensive operations in the Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Novopavlivka directions. During the day, the invaders launched 14 airstrikes and about 10 MLRS attacks. Areas of more than 15 settlements in Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk and Sumy region came under enemy fire. In the Volyn and Polisia directions, the situation has not changed significantly. The Republic of Belarus continues to support the Russian armed aggression against Ukraine. The formation of a joint Russian-Belarusian group of troops is currently underway. There is still a threat of missile and airstrikes on the critical infrastructure of Ukraine from the territory of the Republic of Belarus. In other directions, the enemy used tanks, mortars and artillery of various types to shell settlements. In the Siversky direction, the areas of Slavhorod and Romashkovo of Sumy region came under enemy fire. In the Slobozhinsky direction, settlements located near the contact line came under enemy artillery shelling 23 times. In the Kupiansk and Lyman directions, the Russians struck the areas of Berestov, Makivka, Plashanka, Kislivka, Belahorivka, Stelmakivka, and Siversk. In the Bakhmut direction, the areas of Opythna, Bilohorivka and New York settlements. In the Avdiivka direction, the areas of Mariinka, Avdiivka, Novomikhailivka and Opythna settlements. In the Novopavlivsky and Zaporizhia directions, the areas of Vremivka, Vuhledar, Sherbaki, Stepov, and Prikostivka settlements. In the southern Ba direction, after blowing up the Antonivka Road and railway bridges and the road through the Kakhovka HPP Dam and other previously mentioned bridge crossings, the enemy is improving engineering equipment of its positions on the left bank of the Dnipro River. According to the General Staff, the Defense Forces of Ukraine struck the area of Russian troops buildup in Luhansk region, namely, in the area of Hersky village. As a result of the attack, 27 invaders were eliminated and 18 more wounded. Aircraft of the Defense Forces of Ukraine struck 8 clusters of personnel, weapons and military equipment, as well as 3 anti-aircraft missile systems. Units of missile and artillery forces of the Defense Forces struck an enemy command post, 11 clusters of manpower, weapons and military equipment, as well as other important military objects of the invaders. On the other hand, Ukraine's defense forces regained control of more than 60 settlements in the Kherson region as of the evening of November 12, and stabilization measures began there. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said this in a new video address, according to an Ukrinform correspondent. As of this evening, the defense forces have won back control in more than 60 settlements of Kherson region. The police have started taking stabilization measures. Stabilization measures are also ongoing in Kherson itself, Zelensky said. He thanked all the soldiers of the Special Operations Forces who brilliantly performed the task of liberating Kherson. He promised that the same would happen in other cities and villages of Ukraine where fierce battles are currently ongoing. I join the thanks and wishes that have already been heard from the people of Kherson by our fighters of the 28th and 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigades and the 59th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade, our intelligence officers, our fighters of the Special Operations Forces and National Guardsmen. Well done. Thank you all for the brilliant performance of tasks for the liberation of Kherson. It will be the same in Henichesk and Melitopol. We will also come to all our cities and villages of Donbass. We will definitely see how people with Ukrainian flags, which they keep there, will meet the Ukrainian forces in Crimea, and there will be hundreds of them on the streets on the day of liberation, Zelensky said. He said that it is thanks to the units that withstand the terrible pressure of the occupiers, holding the defensive lines in the Donetsk region, that Ukraine can conduct offensive operations in other directions.